Hey guys and gals, it's Cal from Dirty Weasel, and this is Skyrim Coffee Talk. Yeah, I know, I didn't get the actual coffee cup into the game, but at least I put the logo on a mug, so it kind of looks like Fiona's drinking a cup of coffee. But what this is a basic informal discussion of topics that have kind of come up to my attention that I thought I should share with you and things that are going on with the channel. It's going to be kind of just me rambling on about things that I think are important. The Skyrim Special Edition's only 9 days away as of the recording of this video, and we are starting to get more news out. The Bethesda mod page that they put out with mod authors who have converted their mods has now grown up to 48 mods in total, and we're starting to see some other modders on there. Chesko has put out a couple mods, and Skinny Tech Boy has a follower mod on there already. And we've seen a couple new things from some other mod authors, bandanas and face wraps, a couple other things of note. So they're starting to populate slowly but surely. We also know some information about transferring things over to the CK. It's primarily working okay. There are some exceptions to that regarding animations. They don't work right now, but Bethesda's released a converter tool that will allow older animation mods to convert over to the new format. As of right now, they don't work, but they should. Also, texture mods should work for the most part, except for TGAs. Also, we learned about that some of the old NIF files need to be reformatted into a new format or they will lose performance. In other words, things like SMIM, which are heavy on the old NIF formats, will need to be converted over, and I'm not sure how they're going to do it yet, but they are working on it within the modding community. TrainWiz did a lot of testing on scripts. You know, his mods are very script heavy with what they do, and he says they work pretty well. They doesn't have any real main concerns. There are a few things that need to be fixed, but as of right now, it's actually going pretty well. Of course, anything that requires SKSE will not work. Anything that requires a DLL file will not work. So that's going to take a little bit more formatting time to get the SKSE team up and running. Expired is still basically saying that they will work on it, but they don't know what's going to happen exactly. It may take weeks, it may take months, they don't know until they get the whole thing up and running and start digging around, because everything has to be hand looked at and kind of rewritten on a case-by-case basis. They really don't know how much work is going to be involved at this point. So that means that SkyUI is kind of stuck in the netherworld as it is for right now, but the SWF files, the UI files, had a minor change from 10 to 15. I don't really need to go into what all that means, but essentially it will work for most UI mods with minimal amount of work, and a mostly broken version, this is what they state, a mostly broken version of SkyUI is possible, but why would you use one that's mostly broken? You get my point on that? But it sounds like it shouldn't take that much longer for a new team of modders to put together SkyUI once all the permissions have been handed over from the old team to a new team of modders. Hopefully that will get done relatively quickly. So overall, it's sounding like, you know, the mod authors are putting stuff out. There's still a non-disclosure agreement out there, so they can't talk too much to the public or even to me about what's going on, because they know I'll talk. I'm weak. I can't let things go. If you tell me anything, I'm going to tell the public right away, because I know you guys want to know. Other news regarding the creation kit, Bethesda came out the 19th. That would be today for me, probably yesterday for most of you listening to this, that they have an open beta for CK testers, for creation kit beta testers. I, of course, applied to be a beta tester because I use the CK quite a bit. I don't create mods with it, but I will be in the future, and I will discuss that later on in this video. So if you want to become a beta tester, I'll put the link in the description so you can go apply and be one. They basically want you to say, I have the game on Steam. They want you to give your Steam ID and to kind of explain what you do, whether you create mods or you do something else. But they will ask you those questions. So I encourage you to do so if you're really interested in making mods, or that you use the CK and are willing to test things and become a beta tester and give input as needed, because that's what Bethesda needs. If they don't hear anything from anybody, they generally don't do anything. Now, moving on to the Nexus. Of course, TerraFox1234 has joined the team. He was formerly of the Skyrim Mods Reddit. He is now a community manager, and he put out some good information regarding how the Nexus will be formatted. Skyrim Special Edition will get its own section on the Nexus. It will not be combined with the old legacy Skyrim. It will have its own section. That's really good news for those of us who will be focusing on it to make it easier for us to find mods that are specifically for the Skyrim Special Edition without having to go to the different mod pages and look for if there's any conversions from old to new on an old mod page. Also, that will reset the whole endorsement thing, so mods that have been out there forever that are basically broken and don't work anymore or should not work for you and you should not use have a ton of mod endorsements and people will still use them. Like, let's say, Dance of Death, still in the top 100 mods, but it is a broken mod and should not be used, and instead you should use violins. But that's just one example. Regarding the new mod management tool created by Tannen now that he's on the Nexus team, it really kind of hit me hard once I had time to think about it. I thought, number one, it's really good for Tannen. He's getting a job doing something he loves in a field he knows very well. And it's good for the Nexus in general for all of you users out there because you're going to get a better tool in the end because Tannen's very talented. And with the team they have over the Nexus, I am confident they will come up with a good mod management tool, whatever that may be in the future. But as for Mod Organizer, it's not going to evolve anymore into Mod Organizer 2. Of course, Mod Organizer 2, it does exist, and I have used it for testing for Fallout 4 in anticipation for the Special Edition to come out. Now that it's not going to be developed anymore, that's all defunct. So all the work that we've done for preparing you for the Special Edition by using the 2016 Skyrim Modding Guide will have no point because Mod Organizer for Skyrim will be kind of obsolete. In a few months, everyone will be converted over to the Special Edition because they'll have plenty of mods, and the new mod management tool from Tannen and the Nexus team will be out. So why would you use Legacy Skyrim, especially considering Mod Organizer 1 works so well for it, or if you're using Nexus Mod Manager, that works very well for that as well. Whatever your flavor of the month is, you can use it. So what does that mean for the channel? Well, the 2016 Skyrim Modding Guide will continue on for a couple more episodes just to talk about the basics of modding. In other words, things like XPM SE, Finis, and PCA 2. I did a lot of work on that in anticipation for the guide. I will now cover those topics from a mod installation perspective. It will use Mod Organizer, but it will not be focused on Mod Organizer. It'll basically just be talking about how to install everything, how to make it work, and how to run it. Also, I'll be talking about merge patches and bash patches because I think those will still be relevant, as I doubt that Tannen and the rest of the Nexus team will tackle those since they are very good tools on their own, and we will just have to see how that shakes out. But I think they will still be relevant to the modding scene. I think you need to know a lot of good information regarding those. But as for the guide in general, it's almost on its last legs. We're going to cover a couple more topics, and that's it. So where does that go for tutorials in the future? When the Skyrim Special Edition hits in a few days, we'll delve into that. We'll start working on that and start putting together things that you can do with your game as I test things out and as I play with it. As I learn more information from the modders out there, we'll start getting new mods installed using probably Nexus Mod Manager for right now because it can do 64-bit and you don't have to worry about Mod Organizer quite so much with the Mod Organizer 2 bugs and problems that it kind of comes with. So it's better to use Nexus Mod Manager since it will run Fallout 4. We are going under the assumption that Skyrim Special Edition will work as well. Then as the new modding tools come out, we will probably see me move over to that new modding management tool as far as everything goes as far as modding the game up using a management tool, whatever the Nexus and Tannen come up with. We'll start using that. And that leads on to a conversation I had with Michael from Gamerpoets. He and I had a long conversation that covered a bunch of different topics, and basically we kind of agreed that if we were to give any advice to the Nexus team in Tannen, it would be to ignore compatibility between 32-bit and 64-bit games and focus solely on games like Witcher 3, Fallout 4, and the Skyrim Special Edition because they're all 64-bit games. My understanding from the Step guys is that there was a lot of issues with getting a mod manager or a mod organizer too, in this case, to be able to switch back between 32-bit and 64-bit. So that would be our advice. Of course, we have no pull. We're just YouTubers. They don't listen to us about anything. So hopefully they get some karmic message across the cosmic airways that they should do this, because we know what we're doing because we have voices on YouTube or something like that. What else is planned for Dirty Weasel Media? Well, here's a little teaser of what's going on. I put out a teaser today on Twitter regarding a new roleplay series that I'll be heading up here called Skyrim Short Stories, with a new character called Sartorius Vex. And it's going to be a roleplay focused simply on short quests or a combination of quests that Sartorius will go on, and it won't be him developing as a Let's Play character. You won't see a lot of leveling, you won't see a lot of character management. It's going to tell stories, and that's the point of it, short stories. So this new character I've created called Sartorius Vex will be in it. Fiona will be a standalone follower, and that's why I'm getting more into the creation kit and creating my own mods, so that we could have a standalone follower go with Sartorius, and Fiona can have a role in her kind of her own series, and you'll see her go off and do on her own little adventures every once in a while as she does things for Sartorius. Also, the series will be a little unique. I'm working with the guys over at CouchwarriorTV. They have a roleplay series over there called Rune Runner, and a couple of well-known characters that he has in his by the name of Robard and Vander will be appearing in Skyrim Short Stories. And conversely, Sartorius Vex and Fiona will appear in their stories as well. So there will be crossover with new lore, new stories, and interaction between all of the characters that you will be able to see on both channels. And I don't think anyone's done that before, is have characters cross over. There will be custom voice acting between all of the characters involved, and they will be inserted into the different videos for the channel that they'll be shown on. But it will be a combined work. We are working on it right now. We are calling it, for right now, the Skyrim Fables Project. That's a very tentative name. Stu and I worked out late at night as we were kind of in our sleepy modes, kind of thinking of things. So for right now, that series will be starting in November. I am, presently working on things and testing the finished load order I have for that. And that's what you've been seeing in the background, is test footage for Sartorius Vex and Skyrim Short Stories. So that's it. The channel is going through some big changes. All the mod organizer stuff will be obsolete, but we're going to continue on. The channel will continue on in a new format, but basically it will still have tutorials, but now it will have roleplay and other Skyrim lore focused features. So it's telling little stories that you may not have seen before. That's it for now. Thanks for joining me while I drink my coffee and play some games, and we will get back to modding. My name's Cal, I'm from Dirty Weasel, and I'm signing off.